cooking up some gammon today. Now we're going to be roasting this gammon, and what we're going to do is get some really nice diamond shapes.
Hello there.
Now, are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin.
I call again for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages, the hostages, and a recommitment to the two-state solution.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
Gets the people going.
It's
No, that's enough! Why do you...
They're the Free Wales Army, Lana.
Yeah, that's right, David. Good lad.
Leg hurts.
Yes, it will do, Dav. You've been shot.
My name is Jeff.
I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I don't know. Something amazing, I guess.
Me too, kid.
This is a safe place. It's a place where we can feel free sharing our feelings. Think of my office as a nest in a tree of trust and understanding. We can say anything here.
Anything.
I like turtles.
What is it? Supine protoplasmic invertebrate jellies.
Look at him. He runs like a Welshman. Doesn't he? Doesn't he run like a Welshman?
Oi, oi, how are you doing? Oh, what a mad day it's been already. It's officially too fucking hot. Too hot. It's too hot. I can't do it. Oh, God. But I made it. I'm here. Sorry I didn't schedule the stream. I have been a mad busy bee today, trying to get bits and bobs sorted. I'm also a solo Burke as well. So for the person that last time said that this show lacked a little bit of structure, then you're going to fucking love this one. Now we are solo baking it today. Unfortunately, my old man is a little bit old man. He's messed up his tablets. I think that's what it is, but he's fine. He's absolutely fine. And oh my God, I can already see. Right, okay. Before we do anything, let's get this out of the way with. Michael, before the show even started, Michael dropped in a gifted membership, and that is so kind. Thank you so much. But not only did he do that, but he did it again. There is another one, and oh my God. Fucking Hossel, what is going on here, Hoss? I haven't seen you for ages. How are you doing? Wow, I've not seen you for ages, and you've just come in and just dropped the 20 fucking gifted subs. Whoa! Oh, I love it. Nice one. That's so cool. Thank you. So I get really, again, I keep saying this. I'm probably going to say this every time someone donates something, but I'm always like, I don't know how to react. That's so kind. Thank you for being so kind. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Well, do you know what? I'm just going to get my YouTube thing open. I'm going to have a look through the list there and count out. I'm going to tell you exactly which 22 people have just become smelly lefties. Hey, yeah, no, it's great to see. Yeah, it's awesome. You've got a new channel and stuff, I believe. That's awesome. Yeah, I hope you're okay. I hope you're good. Yeah, it's good to see you. And do you know what? It's next time I see you on live, whatever, I will pop over, jump on and say thank you so much. Because, yeah, it was really, really cool of you. Thank you very much for that also. But we're at it, we're doing it, we are here. So bear with me. I'm just gonna, once I get to it, get it open. We are here. Ugh, that's my own voice. Right, let's have a look now. Let's have a gander. Oh my God, right. So BC, the Black Caller, he has got one. Conan has got one. The Grim Reaper Network has also got one. Big Ben, Katie, Matt Wotton, ex-Scottish Soul, Seeded 11.11, LB Audits. What are you doing here, LB Audits? Eartha Wells has got one. Fuzzy B is also a smelly lefty. Just Jane, Mr. Macria 1992, We've got Tyrant Finder UK, at Katrina, at Lady Muck, at Wendy Woo 545. Wow, is this a second account that you've? Is that have you even got gifted subs on your sock account? That's how generous people are here, Wendy. Adidas UK 001 has also got a gifted sub. That's incredible. Thank you so much. Oh, and also Q Gagda. It ends in 420, so they must be all right. They got a gifted sub from Michael, and so did Jay Funbashi. So well done to all 22 of you guys. You have all become a smelly lefty. Wendy Woo's a smelly lefty twice over. Yeah, I read something about that. Yeah, crybabies of YouTube kept flagging me for my words of hurting their fifis. I think that kind of similar to me, like your content sort of came about with trying to sort of expose people, I guess, and talk about the things that they were doing and that. So yeah, you get a lot of hate for that. So it's also nice when we show each other a lot of love. That's amazing. And yes, this is the only channel where you will find all of your auditors subscribing. They are all here, and they're all officially smelly lefties. We've got Cozzy, we've got LB Audits, we've got all of them. They're all right here. Very smelly today. It is like super sweaty out there. Also, if it's a Shik's channel, I'd be very, very careful about saying that just because of like counter navigation things. But it's fine. Just yeah, do your thing, Noz. It was really kind of you. Thank you so much. Let's do the points now. So Michael, not only did he drop in the gifted sub, but he got in there quick with the points. And he's just earned himself. Do you know what? Because I didn't do a thing for this stream, I'm going to award the first 3 people in. Instead of giving them 10, 5, and 2, you can all have 20 points each. Why not? I'm feeling really generous today. It's a hot, sweaty day. You managed to make it here. And I streamed it about 2 minutes. You only had 2 minutes to get points, and you did it. So, yeah, you get 20 points for you. 20 points for Andrew Luke, who is in second place. And an astonishing 20 points for Smack Salad. He's never here on time. What's going on here? Someone's doing something, aren't they? After the noon, Gillian. Sudden stream, yeah. Well, it's a stream I've been thinking about. I just didn't tell anyone because I got busy. Also, as well, I'm definitely not putting on the. I'm not putting on the camera today either. I am sweatier than Russell Brand's heels as he was turning and running towards far-right Christianity in America after those allegations came up. That's how sweaty I am today. I am sweatier than Keir Starmer when Andy Burnham won in Makerfield. Hello from Sister Ninja. Hello. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Wendy is a smelly lefty. She is. She's a smelly lefty twice over now. I'm going to have to cancel my plans for tomorrow, I think. This weather. Oh, it's proper grim, isn't it? It is properly grim. Speaking of which, I don't know if you saw it, dude, but I reached out to you today as well to let you know that I have actually done the I filled out that form for September for that meet and greet stuff. It's absolutely wicked. If you wanted to advertise it here, if you want to drop anything in the chat, then by all means do so. Sounds like a really cool event, but I also don't want to advertise anything that's And I also tagged it as well. I put I put my name and my dad's name, and in brackets I put Smack Salads, mate. just in case, you never know, I could get some freebies. Oh, you're a friend of Smack Salads? Yes, that is a lot of memberships, isn't it? That is absolutely awesome. Thank you so much to everyone. That is indeed what the weather alert I got this morning said. Met Office alert. Too fucking hot. Absolutely. Absolutely. is your avatar a Bob Morton reference? No, it's his face. It's his beautiful face with bananas on his head. Oh, TK doesn't get them, unfortunately. Oh, I guess you'll have to fork out the 99p. I'm just no, I'm just messing, man. Also, as well, go and check out TK Media if you haven't already. This dude makes some of the best content that's going at the moment. I genuinely think this person is a genius. I have no idea why he bothers to lower himself to hang around with us guys. Hello, Becky. I hope you're good. I'll never forget you, Becky. You were my first ever gifted member. Used to be all early all the time, but it wasn't appreciated. You know what? That's fair. That's fair enough, man. I can hear that. I wasn't aware of that, Pete, but I'm a fan of it. Oh, no, wrong bit. That was a chat between you. And shit, check out another one as well. Michael, keep your monies to yourself, but thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Let me just have a look and see. Oh, it's out of my own voice. Please press that. Where are we now? Let's have a gander. And mum of 41,972, ouch, has just become a smelly lefty. And if you've really got 41,000 kids as well, I reckon if you get them a Smelly Lefty membership, that's probably the best Christmas present. And get Christmas presents in now, guys, because you don't want to be caught too late here trying to get memberships out of the garage. They know if you've got memberships out of the petrol station. They can tell. It's a lot of kids for one mum. That's what I was thinking. Yes. So here we go. So come to a patient meetup at one of our few medical lounges, Newport's Jay's Medi Lounge. Come and say hi. Smack Salad's going to be there. So that's more than enough reason to get down there. But there's also going to be a whole host of other really cool people. It's a really cool event. 19th of September is when you're going to see Smack Salad, although other days are available. But 19th is the day if you want to see Smack Salad. He's a legend. Oh, Becca, not Becky, right? Okay, then. Well, Oh, okay. Is Gulia and apparently has good hair. Whatever that means, but I will absolutely respect that. If you want to be called Becca, not Becky, then that's more than fine. Yeah, it's awkward as fuck, isn't it, dealing with Glaze? But yeah, you are that great. Shut up, TK. Don't listen to him. He's amazing. Go and subscribe right now. Not Becky with the good hair, Becca with the good politics. We like that. That's a good one. That's how we remember it. Oh, you should. You so should. I will be there, and I'm going to try and get my dad down there as well. Absolutely. Do it. Hey, look at that. Are you flexing? How are you doing, honey? You okay? Are you flexing your new membership there? You've been gifted one by some amazing legend. You are officially, Rob, a smelly lefty. No, I'm not. Is that a Beyonce reference that's just gone right over my head? It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not big on the in my brain. All of the Beyonce references just go to the left. So yeah, make of that what you will. You can't see it, but I'm winking. Right, I think we've probably got enough people in to start. We could probably crack on with the show. It's not going to be a massively long one today. I'm not going to be doing no mega streams. Instead, I'm going to be shouting at you. No, I'm joking. I'm going to be talking about. Let's have a look now. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, Restore is a joke. We know that it's a joke. And to help us laugh at them, Femi F Politics did an interview on LBC with the Restore's, what was he called? He was the campaign manager. That was one of the funniest fucking interactions between people who want to be considered like between a person who wants to be, considered a serious sort of politician, if you will. It's just absolutely ridiculous. We've also got Carol Vorderman is absolutely owning Reform at the moment. She's made a bunch of predictions, and they're not great for Reform, I've got to admit. But we'll see how it goes. I like a bit of Carol Vorderman. I like talking about her because it makes the far right really angry. It's everything that they hate. She can read, she can write, and she's a woman. They fucking hate those things when they're combined. It's like the worst combo for them. And Ryan Ferguson. I think we'll probably try and figure it out together, but it looks like he might actually still be in jail. He's been remanded. He was remanded for an offence that we looked at on here, actually. We actually looked at this the other day. Do you remember when we saw him threatening police? And I said, that sounds like a threat, right? Where he said to police, listen, you don't want to be treating me like this. You know the influence I've got in the city. You know the things that I can do. And, coming from a self-confessed neo-Nazi, that is just, yeah. You need to, oh, check this out. And £2, another shout out to Sister Ninja, please. Sister Ninja, you can have all the shout outs you want. I might even rename the channel to Sister Ninja. I love it. Hello, Flow Snake. It's good to see you. But no, yeah, Ryan Ferguson. So we saw that video where he was basically more or less threatening police. And that's not just my opinion. That's the police's opinion. It's not just the police's opinion. I believe it's the court's opinion too. He was charged with... I'll try and remember what the exact charge was. I've got it written down here somewhere. But he's been charged with... I can't... Yeah, right. Do you know what? Let me find it. It's on the Merseyside police thing, so we'll get it up now. Ryan Ferguson. Oh, God, what's terrible is the fact that it's literally like... Right, Merseyside Police. It's literally in my suggested things. It's like, oh, did you mean neo-Nazi Ryan Ferguson? I'm like, yes, I did mean that. But why is my history like doing this to me? So, man charged with encouraging violence against police. Man has been charged, this is Ryan Ferguson, by the way, in connection with social media posts that reportedly encouraged violence against the police. Now, this is what we were looking at together. I don't know if you guys remember. Oh, shit, guys, with the being so lovely and nice. Like, what are you, what? What is this, Katie? Oh my God, so kind of you. Thank you so much. Why are you doing it? I don't know. Oh, you guys are amazing. I really appreciate the love. I really appreciate the support. Wow. You guys are just blowing me away here at the moment. I can't even... I need to think about how to react to this stuff because I don't know how to do it. It just leaves me a bit like proper... Yeah, like that's so kind of you. Thank you so much, Katie. Like, on it, I swear though, guys, keep your monies to yourselves and then you've got more monies. Like, I love it. I love the support. It's awesome. Thank you so much. I don't deserve it. I really don't. But thank you all. I really, really appreciate it. Right, let me get back to the live that's on YouTube and I will have a look at see who our other fellow smelly lefties are. Here we go. It is this one. Let me have a gander. So we've got Ubers under a blood red sky. We've got Spark 238, Baxter 13, Futoy. We've got Peggy, Rowan Harrigan. I can't say I'm terrible. Just in case, Big Baz is better half. Right, this is the name. I don't even know if I can read this one out. Although I'm sure I've seen it before, and I don't know who. I'm not going to read it out. I can't read your name out. I'm really sorry. It says smackhead someone's name and then deadbeat mum. I'm not doing that. That's not having that. Matrix break. They are all officially smelly lefties. Wow. Just wow. I honestly, I really can't thank you enough. That's so kind. Thank you so much. Another sneaky stream. It is another sneaky stream. I did have it planned and I was going to schedule it and then I got really busy and then I got really hot and sweaty and then I forgot. But I'm here now. We're doing it. We're here. Oh, God, it's hot. It's so hot. Anyways, yes, thank you, Katie. And we will be nearly at 200. I think now, wait, what? So that was like an extra 30 plus... So we got like an extra 33 there, plus there was the 120. We're at about 150. We're at in and around 150 members. I've only just started it. This is like the 4th or 5th stream since starting the membership thing. And yeah, I'm just blown away by the love and the support. I really, really appreciate it. How are you doing, guys? I hope you're good. Yeah, thank you all so very, very much. It's honestly more than I could ask for. Now, I'm going to try and get back to the stream. Nobody be kind and distract me and, and just like, who do you think you are supporting me? That's just evil. I swear you're doing it on purpose. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I've never enjoyed being called smelly as much as I have here. 100%. Break's over. Be well, JOJ. Do you know what? Thank you, Hustle. I hope you're good. Be well and have a great day. If you're working, I hope you crack on with your day and it's a good day. Right, back to the stream. So, Ryan Ferguson, 26-year-old of Barberry Crescent, Bootle, has been charged with intentionally encouraging / assisting an offence, namely battery, under Section 44 and 58 of the Serious Crime Act 2007. Now, this is where it gets a bit interesting and also a bit confusing because there's a lack of information. He has been remanded to custody to appear at Wirral Magistrates Court Thursday, the 18th of June. Now, this was published on Thursday, the 18th of June. So he'd already been arrested and he'd already been remanded into custody at that point. And then he'd had his court date. I don't know, and I can't find, if anyone else does know, and anyone else, knows a better way of getting it, because I can't find that information. I don't know what happened in that court. But I do know that a few days later, yesterday, on the 22nd, he was in court again for another unrelated offence. Oh, God, let me find it now. I've got this information here. What was this one for now? think, yeah, there we go. So this was a separate case concerning an alleged breach of the dispersal order that was listed for Magistrates Court, Manchester Magistrates Court, on the 22nd of June, which was yesterday. So if anybody knows how that one went, right, do you know what, D-Wit? I'll take your word for that. I will. I just don't want to put anyone's name up on the thing. But I don't know, but I will take your word for it, and that's cool. No worries. But yeah, so he was a separate case concerning an alleged breach of dispersal order was listed for Manchester Magistrates Court on Monday, the 22nd of June. That's according to Greater Manchester Police. So I don't know how that went because he's also in remand and he's got another court date coming up. So that's crazy. But he's also got a third one coming up again. He's got another one on the 3rd of July, this time in Leamington Spa Magistrates Court for, yeah, another unrelated fucking incident. Let's have a look at the charges were for that one. So this is Warwickshire Police, and so he's been charged with racially or religiously aggravated harassment and using threatening or abusive words or behaviour likely to cause harassment, alarm or distress. He's due to appear in court, Leamington Spa Magistrates, on the 3rd of July. Wow, he's been a busy boy, hasn't he? He's got a right busy month, which is probably going to land him in jail, which, to be honest with you, isn't necessarily the worst place for him. Like, I'm not going to sound like one of those guys that's like, I want everyone in prison. I think it's a great place for him. I think that if he can go to prison, and not that he hasn't been before, I'm being over generous now with what I think could happen next. And I'm going to stick to this because this is what I would want to happen over what we all probably know may happen. But I think I would like to hope, and I mean this genuinely and sincerely, that this is an opportunity for Ryan to start reading some fucking books. Like learn how to read, first of all. Pick up a book. Read something, anything. Not Minecraft, not again. Anything else. Just literally read something. This could be an opportunity for him to evaluate his life, look at what he's doing, see the damage that he's having in the wider public. Because, I mean, listen to the things that he was saying, the things that he says in general down the street. Whether it's like, you know, Hitler saluting, I love Hitler, all that Nazi stuff to one side. I mean, he's one of those people that are out there now to larger audiences, being propped up by other auditors and things like that, and they're reaching considerable amounts of people, and they're pushing this message that, like, Muslims specifically, but asylum seekers and just brown people broadly speaking, but Muslims are a direct danger to your women and kids, and they're hurting children, they're doing X, Y, and Z, which, of course, what a load of bollocks. But I was that to read Minecraft or Mein Kampf? Isn't it the same thing? No, I'm joking. Yeah, they I'd avoid both of them if I were Ryan. Just avoid both of those areas. Not good for him. He just needs to pick up a book that's like anything but that. I would settle for like a Douglas Adams or Have a Laugh or something. Read some proper British culture. Anything, you know what I mean? But yeah, hopefully this is a good opportunity for him to reflect and see the damage that he's causing and, you know, learn something and maybe come out a different person. This isn't sustainable. You can't be a neo-Nazi in 2026. Doing the things that they're doing and not expect to end up in prison. Of course he's going to end up in prison. And I extend that to the auditors as well. People like DP. It's not going to be long now. It isn't. It's not going to be long now until someone he threatens, like he did with that, not the last time he was kicked out of Wetherspoons, not the cafe that he's just been kicked out of, or the one before that, but the one before that when he was kicked out of the Wetherspoons there, he said to that woman right in her face, he's like, if you weren't a woman, I'd smack you right in the mouth. And it's like, bro, that's still a threat, you know, and it's misogynistic as fuck because it's a gendered threat, but like you're still threatening people with violence to make them afraid. Like whether or not you're saying, oh, I won't do it, but I fucking could, I could do. It's the same thing, mate. They're still like, you know, he's trying to intimidate people with like use of violence and oh god, it's terrible. Proper terrible stuff. These people are gonna end up in jail. Or worse, something terrible will happen on the street. They'll get into more confrontations, more fights, and who knows which way that could go. Proper awful stuff. But that's my Ryan Ferguson news for today. He's in jail, so hopefully, well, potentially, he may still be on remand. He may have been sentenced after the 18th. I don't know. I know that he hasn't posted since, as far as I can see. There's a very, very good chance that he's probably in prison right now, which frankly means that the streets are a bit safer, doesn't it? It means that there's less chances of violence at these protests. At least, you know, even if it's only a small amount, there's still less chances of violence at these protests. And there's also less chances that his stochastic instigation won't will cause, somebody to go out and attack someone. Because the things that Ryan Ferguson says about like Muslims being such a horrible threat, those are the exact same things that the terrorist in Edinburgh was saying. Let's not forget that. Like the auditors and these Nazis, they speak. No, sorry, let me say that again. The terrorists, when they open their mouths, it's the auditors and these neo-Nazis that come barreling out of them. It's those words that you're hearing, those voices that you're hearing, essentially. Might sound a bit different, but it's the same shit. It's what they're doing. They are all stochastic terrorists, and fuck you, take me to court for that one. You heard it first here. Auditors are... Well, you didn't hear it first here. There was a whole document about that, but you get me. Let's have a look now. So, Carol Vorderman has been doing some cool stuff. Let's have a look. We're going to go over to Political Custard, mainly because I can't quite find the original video. I didn't have enough time to source it properly, but this was also where I saw it first. And Political Custard is a legend, so any opportunity I get to post his link in the chat, I will. And we can watch this together. So I'll copy that link there, and then I shall share the page so you can see what I'm rambling about. Now let's go over there. Share screen. Farage is toast. So here she is, Carol Vorderman, making some predictions and just owning reform, just by being herself. She didn't even have to say or do anything. This person is just, by sheer virtue of being a woman that can read and write, it causes them so much discomfort. All she has to do is exist. But she's going a step further, and she's actively, she's getting active. She's actively active. How's about that?
Well, I've just listened to Keir Starmer's resignation speech, which was a lovely speech. And obviously he was emotional at the end, talking about his wife and children.
OK, here's Carol Vorderman, mathematics whiz and now political campaigner, giving her prediction of how she feels the political landscape will shift in the coming years. Let's take a listen.
Just starting already, what's your thoughts on the first bit? Was it a lovely speech by Keir Starmer? I'm not going to lie. It's really difficult, isn't it? Because when you look at these people, it's really hard to... it's really easy to forget that they are actually just people doing what they think is right. And I don't hold that against people. I mean, his actions and the thing that he does, yeah, it was boring and lies. Yeah, it was boring and lies. He was trying to imply that there was this big anti-Semitic problem within Labour. It's poisonous, and that there was all these people that were just terrible, and we had to get rid of them. What he really means is he got rid of all the left-leaning people and the people that stood up against countries like Israel, for example. That's what he did. He had a purge of the Labour Party. So yeah, I agree with you. It was boring and lies, but he did cry a little bit, and that did tug on my little emotional strings just a little bit. Bless him. You forget he's a father, he's a husband and all that stuff. So I don't blame her for saying, nice things about him. But obviously, as a prime minister, he was just a fucking shithouse. Just terrible. Just remember as well, the only reason that man didn't take the 5 billion out of PIP so that he could, put it in other areas. The reason he didn't take that away from him wasn't because of, human empathy. It was because the public were like, hang the fuck on a minute. You said you were going to do the opposite of austerity. And then he did a U-turn. But he did that U-turn not based in empathy, based on saving his own political career, which turns out is unsalvageable. So that I'll never forgive him for. And there is a lot of things that he's done wrong. I mean, he's also as well been like helping with the genocide in Palestine, not just by being cozy and friendly to Israel, but actively running reconnaissance missions for them, letting them use air bases and things. He was running off to Cyprus to let them use that, when they were going doing bombing runs on Lebanon and stuff. As much as he likes to pretend that he was out of the conflict and stuff in the Middle East, or like not, just not really that bothered about it, he was absolutely involved. 100% he was.
Listen, and I'll give my thoughts at the end.
Big moment in our history, because I think now, obviously, I hope that Andy Burnham will become Prime Minister. Pretty sure that he will do. I think now the whole rise of the far right and Reform and the grifter Farage and all of that gang they are down now. So here's my prediction. Burnham will become Prime Minister. Farage and Reform will be 20% or below by Christmas in the national polls, and then
before we move on to the next bit where she talks about Farage and stuff in general, what do we think about that? What do we think about the idea that Reform could potentially be at 20% or less in terms of the numbers at the polling about. What do you think about that? The return of the sausages. What happened in the chat? Why are we talking about liberating the Lincolnshires? Free the sausages. Come on, guys, let's keep on track. We're talking about Carol Vorderman, right? And the things that she's predicting. She's lovely. She's awesome. Fucking liberate the Lincolnshires. Oh, that one tickled me. So what do we think? Do we think that I hope she's correct, but I doubt Burnham will be much better. She does this though. She's really she's a proper old-fashioned Labour head, it seems like, and the way she talks about Burnham is the way that I would imagine core Labour voters pre-Starmer would have talked about most Labour leaders then, which is, yeah, I don't know. I think that, I don't know, maybe am I being too harsh on the Labour Party at the moment? Have they capitulated so far that I've just written them off as far right and then they've managed to pull themselves back? Is Andy Burnham the person to do that? Is he the left option? Like, there's so many questions here, and I guess we won't know until it happens, but I don't think that Andy Burnham is going to be any more of a decent Prime Minister than Keir Starmer was. I don't think that I don't see him as too different. I think that when it comes to the differences, they're so minor. It's just like whether we nationalise transport or not. And I know that's a big deal. That's a big, big deal. And it's a big deal for a lot of people. Like, nationalising institutions is something that I fully believe in, and I fully back 100% the way it should be publicly owned. They're public resources that should be owned by people for the benefit of the people. I don't trust Labour at all no more. Neither do I. Even if they got fucking... Like, it'd be hard, wouldn't it? I mean, like, let's say that your party just collapsed. And by your party, I mean the actual party that's called your party, the Jeremy Corbyn party that he's got there, that platform. Even if that collapsed tomorrow or was reabsorbed by Labour, because you could think of it as a sort of Labour shoot-off, I guess, but if that was to reform tomorrow, if that Labour, old school Labour, like Labour that we know it, Labour at its height of 500,000 members under Corbyn, that Labour, I don't know, I think even then, things have gone too far. Like, he's lost Wales, he's lost Scotland. The Labour Party have got no hope. This wasn't just rejecting Starmer. I think it was the straw that broke the camel's back for establishment politics outside of England. Now, I know that England also have rejected establishment politics with their vote towards reform and stuff, although I would argue that they are establishment politics. Even though they are not the longest-running established party, they're still establishment figures. You know, we're talking Robert Jenrick, we're talking Nigel motherfucking Farage. Like, these are properly establishment figures. So maybe you could call out, maybe not, I don't know. But I can tell you for a fact that Wales and Scotland have had enough. They're done with establishment politics. And I don't even think that a Corbyn-led Labour could even get in there, to be honest with you. We'll see how it goes.
Farage will go and grift in America and resign from the Reform UK Limited company that he's a majority shareholder on. And that will happen probably by the end of 2027. That's my prediction.
Ooh, 2027. Farage is going to be in America doing the old grifting. What do we think? What do we think to that? I don't know. I think that, to be honest with you, I think inevitably that if he isn't elected Prime Minister in the next elections, that it's going to go one of two ways. He's either at the top or he's at the bottom. He's either going to be just some noise in the background, some quiet noise in the background. Fucking not bad. But it's either that or he's going to be at the top. But I don't think that he's going to be sticking with reform. I mean, he had the opportunity with UKIP, and then he took that as far as it could go, I guess. And then once it reached its peak, he just threw it to the wayside, did some more grifting, found himself a new party. And I think this possibly, based on how it all went with UKIP, is very likely to be the pattern that we can expect for next time. I think that possibly he might just... do you know what? I'm not even saying that. This is my thoughts. I genuinely think, with every fibre of my being, that if he doesn't become Prime Minister, he's going to do exactly what Carol Vorderman said. Exactly that. But I think he's going to hold out until at least the next election. I don't think 2027 he's going to leave. I think that maybe, I don't know, I'd love to know exactly. I'd like to have a conversation with Carol for many reasons, but mostly to tell her she's amazing. But but also, like, I'd love to know how she came to 2027, how next year is, because we're only 6 months away from that. So does Farage look like he's in any way, shape or form going to be stepping down in the next 6 months? I don't think so. I don't feel like he is, but I could be wrong. I feel like he will eventually. Like, if he can't get this election, he's not going to bother pushing it through another. Just the same as he did with UKIP. Just going to, build it up to its peak, get as much money out of it as he can, and once he's finished flogging that dead horse, he'll go and kill another to flog that one. You don't think it? Okay, then, right? And so, all right, and that's fair enough. So you also don't think that he's going to see the general election? It seems that Carol Vorderman is of that opinion too. Obviously, 2027 is pre-election, so we'll see how that goes. Is he? Is he from your area? He's best friends with your uncle. Small world. That is a small world. Must have loads of Gregs around your way. Yeah, there is more money for Farage in the US, but now here's the thing. Is it more lucrative for Farage to keep getting US money but staying where he is in the UK? Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Currently, as a political party in the UK, he's receiving funding from all sorts of places and, all over the world. Do you know what? I may have mixed him up a little bit because he has had money from Elon, but it's Restore that Elon's now starting to fund a bit more, isn't it? I always mix up Restore and Reform. What can I say? I mix up my racists. They all... No, I won't say that. No, I won't do that.
Prediction. And Reform will be coming also run. Yes, a happy day.
Okay, here's my prediction. Yeah. I reckon.
Oh, no, I know what you're going to do. I know what you're going to do here, Political Custard, and it's a naughty trick, all right? He's about to show you the prediction that she made about GB News and how that didn't quite come to fruition. But we'll see. Let's have a look at this last bit here. And for the rest of it, by the way, this middle bit is absolutely amazing. Make sure, I'm going to copy the link to this thing here, which will also take you to Political Custard. It's in the chat. Make sure you're going and watching. He's a legend and he deserves it. I'm not a substitute for his content. So, yeah, if you want to catch this middle bit here, which is full of lots of really cool information, then he's over there on Political Custard.
I've changed my mind.
This quote from a Tory insider highlights a possible outcome for reform under the leadership of Farage, whose interests are more to do with wealth and fame than actually being accountable and patriotic. We are watching...
And yeah, I just saw this bit here about Zia Youssef being too chicken to stand as a candidate. Absolutely. And
the slow puncture of the reform balloon. They had a 10-point lead over Labour in the polls and won every seat in Makerfield at the locals. But Reform have lost yet again. Farage is ducking press conferences to avoid answering questions about his £5 million crypto bung. Zia Youssef is too chicken to stand as a candidate. It's now surely only a matter of time before tired Nigel picks up his ball and goes home, leaving a bunch of hopeless nobodies to squabble over the remains of a turquoise travesty. Click here for some more Reform reprobates.
Ooh, that was kind of poetic, wasn't it? The turquoise tragedy. Yeah, I don't know. I think I agree with the bulk of that statement then about Zia Youssef being too much of a fucking spineless coward to stand as a candidate, and also Nigel Farage being far too weaselly and pathetic, like to actually stand and answer to any questions about the 5 million in crypto that he was gifted. Oh God, it's just the worst, isn't it? People vote for that stuff, People actually vote for that stuff. It's crazy. I'm surprised that they can even hold pens, but they do. They do it. And you know what? I am being quite mean to Reform and Restore voters, and I can do that. And I do get caught up in that sort of hyperbolic thing. But it's also, there's I can't really blame people for voting for Reform. They've been targeted. They've been targeted heavily by a large machine. They never stood a chance. The propaganda machine churns out so much crap day after day after day after day. And because there's financial motivations for that. There's political motivations for that. Hyperbolic. What did I say? Hyperbolic. That's what it is. I'm being hyperbolic today. So on a lighter note, I mean, when it comes to Reform and Restore, I will say that, you know what, it's not all their fault. They're not just they're not all just racist, horrible people. A lot of these folk have been taken advantage of. They're vulnerable individuals that have, been aimed at by a massive fucking propaganda gun, and when that thing fires, there's no stopping the bullet. Loads of people get caught up in it. It is what it is, unfortunately. So yeah. Next, though, should we have a flick over to our buddies at Restore? Should we see what the campaign manager's been doing and saying? I freaking love what I'm about to show you now. We've got an interview. Let me just scroll through my history. Where are you? Blair, my Femi F politics. Ooh. Okay, so there is an LBC debate / interview or whatever with Femi F politics and the Restore campaign manager. This tells you everything you need to know about Restore.
This week coming up marks 10 years since this happened.
The British people have voted to leave the European Union, and their will must be respected. The British people...
Do you know what? Like, I'm in my 30s now, and when people say something happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I'm like, wow, that felt like it was just the other day. And that's getting, as you get older, your perception on time changes and things. That's a normal human thing. But when things are terrible, though, and when you have to live with the effects of them every day, when I heard that 10 years ago today was the Brexit referendum, I realised, I was like, oh God, that felt like it was yesterday, because it was so. That feels like it's like so like long ago. Like it's just been dragging on and just burning through the British economy, destroying everything like a fucking wrecking ball on fire. It's been nothing but terrible. Like it feels like it's been longer than 10 years. I'm not gonna lie, it feels like it's been about fucking 30. I've always lived through this time, haven't I?
People have made a very clear decision to take a different path. And as such, I think the country requires fresh leadership to take it in this direction.
Tuesday is the 10-year anniversary of Britain's historic vote to leave the European Union. To some, it was the UK's Independence Day. To others, it was a moment...
No, we can't. I hate it when we do that. I hate it when we go, well, to some people it was this, to other people it was, let's just say what it was. It was not an Independence Day. We didn't gain independence from anybody. That never happened. You're chatting out of your fucking arse, man. To some people, fucking, the sky is fucking black. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just trying to some people can say things that are very obviously clearly wrong, and those people are idiots.
Of unprecedented national self-harm. So this hour, it's our big Brexit debate. 10 years on, was it worth it? 0345 6060 973 is the number to call. Send me a message on WhatsApp on the same number, or you can text me 84850. 10 years on, was Brexit worth it? Charlie...
Right. 8484850. Right, I'm just going to message him now. Nobody thinks it was Independence Day. They're all fucking idiots. Stop saying that some people think that. They don't.
Charlie Downs supported leave. He's now campaigns director for Restore Britain and a writer and broadcaster, and joins me in the studio. Good morning, Charlie.
Morning, James.
And Femi Olawole supported Remain. He then became the founder of the anti-Brexit youth advocacy group Our Future, Our Choice, and is now an activist and YouTuber. Good morning, Femi.
Morning, James.
Thank you both for coming in so early.
I didn't give him enough of an introduction. He's not just a YouTuber and activist. He's also a fucking legend.
Vote.
I couldn't even vote. I wasn't politically aware at the time. I think I was too busy playing Minecraft and Call of Duty and all the rest of it. But since then, I have come to believe that Brexit represented an impulse within the soul of this nation to withdraw from what is self-evidently a...
Yes. Yeah, kind of. It was certainly an impulse within the souls of, I don't know about the nation, because I mean, 49% of people didn't feel that impulse. So I don't know if you could say this was a nation thing when it was pretty much 50-50. But yeah, or if we're going to talk about impulses to vote for Brexit, let's talk about the real impulse that drove people to vote for Brexit. Was it so that we could retain three-prong plugs or something like that? You know, or was it the straightness of bananas or whatever else it is that goes on? No, it was none of that. It was racism. It was xenophobia. People thought that they could have less people coming here that were brown, and that was great. In fact, it wasn't even that. They were moaning at like white fucking, they're like Polish people and stuff and Eastern European immigrants. They wanted to get rid of all of them as well. It was literally like a bunch of racist people telling other racist people, this is how to best be racist. If you really want to get rid of these people, you can do that. But you know, that's what it really was. That was the impulse. It's a racist impulse.
A failing political order. Now, whether that was actually what it became in reality is another question, because I think the way that it was handled, particularly the way in which it was contained and subverted by Tories like Boris Johnson.
I'm getting a little bit of a William Shatner vibe. Anybody else?
It's another matter entirely, because I think it has been, in the way that it was executed, pretty much an unmitigated disaster. But
so it was a good idea, but badly executed.
With that being said, again, what it represents, I think, is still very much alive in the soul of the British people and has not yet been resolved. And so, in a way, Brexit is still ongoing.
So, Femi, Charlie's saying it was the right decision, even if it's been executed badly. What's that?
Mr. Femi, Charlie is basically being a dirty grifter, and he's making shit up about an event he wasn't even, like, alive for, more or less. I say alive for. He certainly wasn't able to vote during that period.
Yeah.
Just before we get, like, you keep saying it's not the right decision, but not done well. The leader of your party, Rupert Lowe, was a member of the Reform Party, then called the Brexit Party, and their policy was a no-deal Brexit. So when you talk about we would have done Brexit correct.
Yeah, 100%. Rupert Lowe was absolutely, alongside his party, the Brexit Party, he was absolutely advocating for a no-deal Brexit, for a complete just shut off, fuck the rest of Europe, and, you know, consequences be damned. That was exactly what Rupert Lowe was doing.
Correctly, that's what you're talking about. So the question, I have three simple questions. What was the policy that the Reform Party was founded on? It was Brexit. What was the type of Brexit? It was no-deal Brexit. So the next question is, can you name a single country on planet Earth that is a successful economy that doesn't have a trade deal with any of its 30 closest neighbors?
No, but I can name several planets outside of our solar system. Would they count? Fantastic question. Watch how he doesn't answer.
Probably not, because I don't necessarily agree with that vision of Brexit. But if you want to talk to Reform, you should talk to Reform.
No,
I'm not part of Reform.
That was Rupert Lowe's position when he was a member, when this was actually.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, but that was Reform. Well, actually, that was the Brexit Party. And actually, Rupert Lowe, the leader of Restore, was also a very big member of the... Like, you can't make this shit up. He was your leader. What are you on about? It's the guy you're representing now.
Happening. So he was one of the people saying, oh, Brexit should have been done correctly. Well, that was his Brexit.
Yeah, well, it may well have been.
Which means that his Brexit was to do something that every success...
It may well have been. It may well have been. Yeah, he might have argued for that. But, you know, don't let that get in the way of my point.
Successful economy on planet Earth has chosen specifically to avoid.
Well,
and that can only be worse than where we are now, even worse than this unmitigated disaster that you just talked about. And that's the thing, because right now this is a closed debate. We've already all agreed that Brexit has been damaging, not just because the Nuffield Trust, the biggest medical charity in the UK, says that Brexit has damaged the NHS. The Small Business Federation says that 85% of small businesses have struggled to sell to the EU since then. The National Federation of Fishermen's Association says that Brexit has cost them £300 million. The Food and Drink Federation says that Brexit has added to costs. Morrison's is begging them to re-enter the single market to lower costs. This is unmitigated disaster on the expert level, but even among voters.
But before you get to the voters, let's stick with the expert level for just a minute. There is absolutely nobody that can sit there and tell you the upsides of Brexit, because there are none. And if there are, they are absolutely outweighed, catastrophically so, quite devastatingly so, by the weight of the failures of Brexit and the devastation that they brought. Listen to some of the things he's just said there. It cost the fishing industry £300 million. Like, I thought this was about getting sovereignty and getting extra fishing rights so we could fish more and have more, you know, have like more money, a better market, cheaper fish for everyone, that sort of thing. What happened? Oh, that was right. Exactly the opposite. Can anybody, I'm going to sound a lot like James, fucking sit on the fence, O'Brien, but can anybody name me a single good thing that came out of Brexit? Like something that was really tangibly good that changes people's lives in any way, shape or form? Just one, please, just the one.
Because it's like 70% believe it's made us poorer. Even among Reform voters, they on balance believe it has damaged this country on balance on things like the NHS, on things like the cost of living. So this is over. So,
and we'll come on to all of those specific issues and specific ways that Brexit either has worked or hasn't worked. Charlie, interesting that you mentioned that you think it was a good idea, or that it spoke to something that needed to happen, or the British people needing to make their voice heard in a certain way. What do you mean by that? Because a lot of people wrote it up as kind of a bit...
Racism. They wanted to be really, really racist. And usually when you're really racist openly, there's no, you know, people shout at you and they call you a knobhead. So we can't do that. But this way, we can express our racism through what we feel is a legitimate means, through something that's sort of politically validated through a referendum. Fuck you, David Cameron. God damn it. How is he allowed to... I agree with Danny Dyer. Why is he able to just put up his trotters wherever the fuck he is and just bolts away from this?
Big populist moment where actually people who had maybe been ignored by the political class for too long suddenly made their voice heard.
Well, first of all, if you want to discuss Rupert's opinions, you should talk to Rupert. We've had conversations about this.
He's the leader of your party.
Well, we've had conversations about this, and I think he broadly shares my position, which is that the way that it was executed was an error. Deal. So, well, maybe so. But to answer your question, James, about how this is still a kind of ongoing thing, how it represented an impulse within the national spirit of this country, I think to every hardworking, future-facing, ambitious person, they can tell that this system, this political order that has existed, was constructed in the aftermath of the Second World War, is now...
There's, like, can anybody actually... What is he actually saying? He said a lot of words, but I don't know what the fuck he's saying. Like, I've got no idea what he's actually, like... What is he doing? He's now gonna... I've seen some of this, but not the whole thing. I've seen clips of it on Femi F Politics. He's done like a review of this interview, and he's cut a bit, couple of snippets out and things. And he does a really good job of breaking down exactly what happened on the day. And you should definitely go and check that out. But what I think he's about to do now is I think he's about to start explaining why the EU is a bag of shit anyways and we don't really need it, right? And yet, he's still trying to say that whilst having just heard that it cost the fishing industry £300 million. Morrison's are begging for this to happen. It's costing everybody money. It directly contributes to the cost of living crisis. It absolutely impacts in every aspect of your life in ways that you can't imagine. It's not just certain products getting more expensive. It's not just, certain things taking a lot longer to be delivered and to get through. It's not just those little inconveniences. There are huge, broad, sweeping, economic, disastrous results of this Brexit referendum. Like, I don't understand how you can sit there with that straight face and be like, meh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it was the EU. The EU were pretty bad anyways. Don't even want them anyway.
Now falling apart, and that is manifesting itself in a number of different ways, chief among which is the disintegration of the borders of the countries of Europe, not least the United Kingdom, by the way, since Brexit, more than anything. I mean, the Boris wave, for example, was one of the worst manifestations of the type of Brexit that was kind of implemented. And this is because people like Boris Johnson and Michael Gove, and indeed Nigel Farage, their vision of Brexit was one of global Britain, in limitless free trade between as many countries as possible. And what that led to was deals with countries like India,
isn't this one of the
carried
problems?
with it visa obligations.
Again, you cannot say we would have done Brexit correctly when their version of Brexit was a no-deal Brexit, which would be...
I'm sure he's about to say things in a far more articulate manner, but I just can't help myself. I feel like I know exactly where this is going to go now, and he's going to say what we're all thinking, which is, hang on a minute, but you're with a party that wanted to make it even worse. How are you saying that Brexit could have been good if only we'd have got it done our way, when your way was to literally leave without any deals whatsoever, to have a complete and utter just snap off from the EU, just completely cut off all, as though there's some sort of toxic ex. You're just like, not even bothering anymore, block, block, block. Not even doing that. It's mad, isn't it? Ooh, goodbye. Flow Snake, thank you for being in here. No worries, thank you for coming and watching. Honestly, it's really good to see you in here. Peace.
Even worse than what we have now. So everything you just heard, it makes no sense because the alternative he's supporting is even worse than what we have now.
And isn't there the slight risk, Charlie, that you sound a bit like people on the left who say, well, the reason communism...
I'm letting my headphones charge and I've not muted it while it was playing. Am I getting any echo or any feedback from that? Is there any? Let me know if there's any. I'll press play again. Just let me know in the chat if you can hear any. Echo.
System has never worked is because it's never been done right.
What, real Brexit has never been tried.
Is there Is there a way of doing Brexit right?
I'd love to hear this.
I think there is, but it's quite a large conversation that I'll have to have a think about. But with that being said, it would have to carry with it obviously a complete withdrawal from the various conventions that we remain part of as a country, like the ECHR, the ECJ.
Oh yeah, I like the way they do that. How like they just like throw out. Well, you see this acronym here. We'll have to do without this convention. We don't need that at all, really. Oh, what is the ECHR? Oh, it's about what? Sorry. Oh, it's just human rights. Oh, could you talk a bit louder? Your rights. It's your human rights and your workers' rights and all that good shit that stops your government from stubbing you out into the ground like a fucking discarded cigarette. Just that. Just that. So do you know what I feel like as well? Because people like this, they make me... I know that, you know, most people watching will already understand the need for the ECHR, the reason why it was brought about in the first place, and indeed the people that brought it about. But it has to be said again, just because there's folks like this that just sort of like use the acronym ECHR and then just sort of like, oh, it's just ECHR, we don't like it, throw it out there. But the reality is what they're actually talking about is when withdrawing from conventions like that, then what they're saying is that, yeah, fuck all the work we did after the war to prevent another world war. Like the reason we have the ECHR primarily, and like it's such a good thing as well. I can't believe that people are like, oh, we don't need that at all. What it does is it stops individual governments from being able to target specific groups based on certain things, or for employers to be able to take advantage of you and exploit you that way. So, for example, we saw in Germany how a government came into power, and then they used, it was legal in Germany for them at that time to do a Holocaust, essentially. The treatment of Jewish people and other ethnic groups. There were so many people that were swept up. Anyone that wasn't Aryan white dude was essentially, you know, targeted. But like it was done because there was no legal framework in place within Europe at that time to be able to stop it. So do you know what we did? We created that legal framework. And when I say we, I don't just mean us as the collective Europeans, although of course I do. I also mean specifically the UK. We wrote a great deal of that. It was our laws, our solicitors, it was our human rights experts that created a large chunk of this. We ratified it. We put it into existence, and then we ratified it into our own law. It's codified. It's us that did that. We are the ones that did that. Like, it's as British as you can get. This idea that the ECHR is just some foreign group of like shady diplomats that are somehow like, you know, through bureaucracy ruling and your everyday life. It's such a stupid idea, and it was, yeah, in part Churchill's idea as well. That you know, to have that, to be able to have that safeguard. Thank you so much again, Michael. Stop it. We're gonna have a chat, me and you, Michael. You're gonna have to stop being so bloody polite and kind and supportive, and I don't know how to respond. All right, no, but seriously, thank you so much, Michael. I'm just gonna have a quick look now on the YouTube side of things, and let's see who was given that. Gifted sub. Tone, there you go. It's a nice easy one to read out. Tone _ is now a member from Michael. Well done, dude. You are now officially a smelly lefty. Also, can we just double check? I feel like almost every single person in here is a member. That's so sweet. And I'm not trying to pressure anyone to get a membership. So all of my content will always be free. Always. You'll always be able to view a couple of big stuff. But like, yeah, the support that you show me is just fucking wild. Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.
The UN,
war in Northern Ireland, then?
Well, perhaps, but I think that would be a grave
perhaps.
Error. I mean, no.
He's saying perhaps. I say war in Northern Ireland. This guy says perhaps.
Well, no. Let me just.
This is the Patriot we're talking about. The Patriot.
Oh, did you see that? Look at it. Look at this now.
Northern Ireland. This guy says perhaps.
Well, no. Let me just.
Look at that. He's not looking at the host. He's not looking at any. He's trying to move his eyes to the back of his skull so he can find the shovel he needs to dig himself out of that one. He just tried to. This is the thing, isn't it? They say such outlandish, such crazy things that have huge impacts on society, or potentially, if action they would have anyways. And even just talking about them can cause such fucking hardships. Like, they say it so blasé, so like, just, without any sort of reservation. They just slip it in there. Well, perhaps. Anyways, moving on. Well, what do you mean civil war with Ireland? What the fuck? Like, what are you on about? perhaps, maybe. I don't actually give a fuck. This is your Restore party, ladies and gentlemen. This is the campaign manager for Restore. Doesn't care. Doesn't care at all.
This is the patriot we're talking about, the patriotic Restore party saying,
well, look. Oh, of course, not just the Restore, but they're the patriots. Well said, Femi. Well fucking said. Well reminded. These are the patriots. They don't give a shit if people from the UK are killing other people from the UK. Like, perhaps we'll do that. Perhaps not. Who cares? Whatever it is, I'm against it. That's a good way of doing it. Whatever it is, you're against it.
War in the UK, that's fine.
Look at the way in which Northern Ireland has been essentially annexed following Brexit. I mean, this has been disastrous.
The UK annexed Northern Ireland. We are the ones who stole it from Ireland.
Why the fuck is streamer, YouTuber, and legend Femi F Politics activist as well, amongst other amazing things? Why is it his position to educate the campaign manager of Restore about basic British history? Fairly recent history as well. Like, you can't. This is the thing. This is that they don't care when it comes to, no matter what the downsides are of Brexit, of any of their policies, they don't care. People are going to starve. They don't care. People are going to have to fucking fight it out in the streets. They don't care. Like, they literally don't give a shit. Like, they couldn't care less than they do right now.
That's the annexation of Northern Ireland. That's an entirely different debate. I'm sure one day maybe we can do a whole hour about Irish unification, but that is a slight tangent.
Using the term annex when we're the ones that stole it is wild.
It's fair to say Northern Ireland is a big part of the whole Brexit debate. Let's focus on certain issues. Topic.
Sure. Someone just left a comment there. Is he really? Is Rupert Lowe on fucking? Is he actually on the? That is the Patrick Bet Davis podcast, right? That's the same PBD, right? Oh God, Patrick Bet David. There you go, Bet David. I was wondering. I was like, is it Bet David or Bet Davis, or is it Bet? I don't know. I can never remember anything. I'm stoner. But yeah, here we go though. No, do you know what? I'll save that for another one. I'll have a look at another time. I nearly got distracted then. I proper nearly ADHD'd my way well out of this stream.
By topic. Let's start. We're going to come on to immigration shortly. We'll come on to public services. Let's start with the economy, because, Charlie, a lot of people would say that ever since Brexit...
Do you know what?
Getting poorer, certainly the rest of it. So
we already know. I can surmise without having actually seen it. This, go and have a look at it yourself if you want to know. But I imagine that this is how it works. Femi will carefully, intelligently, and articulately explain why the economy has suffered, and these won't be his words that he's saying. He'll be echoing and repeating the words of experts whose literal job it is to know this stuff. Right? It'll be undisputable evidence. Then this guy, James, he'll say, maybe. Anyways, moving on. And that's it. We don't need to listen to the economy side of it. We know it's fucking bullshit.
Of Brexit that I think the ordinary voters had, the ordinary Leave voters are.
Yes, the immigration stuff.
A couple of their candidates a couple of years ago, and I said, all right, so your idea is that we should become self-sufficient, we shouldn't rely on the EU so much, etc. But a third of the... Then you can only look at the institutions that are, well, the industries that would be in charge of that. So, for example, Small Business Federation is saying that 85% of exporters say that Brexit has made it harder for them. Look at the Nationals Weekly, and then the
nationalist character that respects the individual identities that it governs. And if that is the case, do you know what? I'm going to stick my hand
damaging Britain. So given that right now there is pretty much strong consensus, even from Charlie right here, that Brexit has been damaging, continuing to support it is the opposite of patriotism, because it means you're willing to actively harm your own country.
Well, it may be the case in the coming years that with the rise of parties like the National Rally, the AFD, and various others across Europe, that the EU takes on a different character, a more nationalist character that respects.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, he's actually spitting. That's a really good fucking point. Like, on a different level, I'm sure he thinks that's great, but I just want to throw it out there. How do we feel about that? So let's just pretend that David Cameron didn't do the referendum. Let's pretend that Nigel Farage didn't lie to your faces alongside Boris Johnson, and that there weren't buses saying that you'd get 350 million quid a week into your NHS. Let's pretend none of that's real, right? Let's just ignore that for a second. the EU, being in the EU, as it leans further and further to the right, is that a scary thing? Is that something we should have been? I mean, could this potentially have been? I'm not going to say. I'm just going to ask the question, and it's a stupid question to ask. I know, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Could we be better off because of Brexit long term? Because if the European bloc and the market tend to go towards more nationalistic, tend towards more, far right, sides of views, like it's going to fall apart anyway. Countries are going to drop out either way. They're going to want, maximal nationalism, like maximal sovereignty and everything else. Because that's part and parcel with the territory of of those sort of style of authoritarian governments that we're thinking about. Those far right governments. With a lot of them gaining traction in Europe, could it be that we may have dodged a bullet and that we know? I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation. Certainly one for a much smarter person than I am, and it's a question that I'm going to think about and probably come back to at a later date. I'll revisit that and I'll have a gander. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think in the chat as well. By the way, if you're in the chat as well, I've noticed that we've got like nearly 30 people in. If you guys could just hit the like, it's free. It really helps out so much, honestly. And then it keeps the whole thing going, and we can keep growing and going and growing and going. It's going to be awesome. That's a Helena stream right there. Yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah, that's for the likes of somebody who is a lot more politically astute than I am. Astute. But yeah, so yeah, I think Helena's stream on that is due. If you're watching, Helena, which you're probably not, but if you're watching this on repeat, because you eventually you will be, right? Face it. Of course you will. I'm amazing. I'm not. I'm just joking. But no, genuinely, I think that that should be a really good question for the likes of Helena and stuff. And it's certainly one that I want to revisit later. Have we dodged a bullet? Not economically, but socially, as the European Union looks like it could be made up of a whole bunch of far right fucking member states. She's hosting Navarra Media. Of course she fucking is. She's a legend.
It's the individual identities that it governs. And if that is the case, do you know what? I'm going to stick my hands up and say we should probably be part of that, especially...
He's like, being inside the European Union? No. Oh, they're all racist now. Well, fucking sign us up, bruv. Get us back there. Is that all we needed to do? Was just fuck, man. We could have avoided Brexit ages ago by saying, hey, listen, if we just hang on long enough, right? The other member states, they're looking like they're struggling with their far right as well. So, oh my God. Star in the chat for an interesting political take. Check out Daily Blaze 46. Yeah, do that. Go and check them out. We're going to star in the chat, have we? You've never had a problem with being too blasé. Oh, it's good to know. It's good to know. And it's good to see you here anyways. Good to see all of y'all's. And make sure, right, as well, guys, this is another thing as well. Like, if we're all, like, sharing our links and stuff like that, then we can all... Because we've got some amazing content creators in there. Obviously, MZ's just highlighted the star in the chat here. We've also got Andrew Luke, soon-to-be content creator Jim Speak. Yes, that is me putting pressure on you. We've got loads of really cool people in here, like, really, really cool people that make great stuff, not just on YouTube, but everywhere else. And, furthermore as well, if you do want to network with some amazing people... I'm getting ahead of myself. Guys, if you're a creator in the chat... drop your link in. No, honestly, the more of us that are helping each other out, the better. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys either. So, yeah, if you are a creator or anything, drop your link in the chat now. And if you're just looking to network and stuff like that, and you want to meet some cool people, then here is the Discord link for the Server of Burke's Discord. We've got some amazing people in there. And also as well, if you're not just trying to network with that, but you want to possibly, have a little bit of influence on the show, you want to let me know some things, or you want me to look at something, then Discord is also another really good option. We've split up some of the channels into the segments that we do for the show, the headline rundown, the Burke Alert, all that really good stuff. So yeah, we can also, I'm going to make a private channel at some point, and you guys can recommend me rap songs that I get my dad to read out. That'll be fun. But I think that we're stronger together, aren't we? And there's not a huge amount of us, but we're all bigger and better together. And to Pete as well, yes, Mank Pete as well is also in here. Sorry if I've missed anyone out. Yeah, all you guys are awesome. And yeah, no worries. We've got some amazing mods here, haven't we? We've got some amazing people doing some cool stuff.
If restore or reform, to a lesser extent reform, get into government, because maybe it is better that we're part of that than not.
Mark in Camden, coming to your call in just a moment. Kathy messages to say, morning, James, 10 years on, and no, we're definitely not better off. And the press hate the fact they can't hide that fact as much as they would like to. And Nick says, James, look at Europe's economy. They are not doing any better than the UK. Brexit has not really made much difference, and no one can tell you otherwise because...
Right. So here's how we can tell you otherwise. Here's how we can say that Brexit did make a big difference. Now, is there lots and lots of other geopolitical events that are happening right now that shape our economy? Absolutely. Is there lots and lots of other, both domestic and international things that, that we're not really doing well with at the moment? The whole world is, to be fair, it's not looking great for everyone, is there? There's no one nation that's like head and shoulders above everyone's prospering all the time. It's a tough time for everyone. But the difference is when it comes to those European nations, they are insulated from a lot of the worst of all of that stuff because they have membership to the European Union, because they have access with really favourable terms to the biggest market on the earth, or second largest, or the biggest. I can't remember if it's one or the other, but it's massive is my point. They have that. Imagine now how things worse would be. How worse things would be if we weren't, if they weren't inside the European Union. So you can look at the European nations and you can go, well, they're having a tough time too. That's fine, because nations outside of Europe, everyone's having a bit of a tough time. But nations inside Europe are having a significantly less of a raw deal because they're inside Europe. It's like saying, oh, there's no point in me putting on a coat. It's right, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like no point in me putting on a coat, and then it rains, and then you look at someone going, well, they're wet anyways. Yes, but their coat is wet. They're dry underneath. What are you on about? Like, yes, we're all caught in the rain. Absolutely. But they're wearing their protection. What are you talking about?
We will never know. Let's go to Mark in Camden. Good morning, Mark. What would you like to say?
Good morning, James. Good morning, gentlemen. Best wishes to Shane in Edinburgh first.
Yes, well said.
Right. Next, this is 2 weeks on Tuesday. This is what I told the government minister. I swear.
Do you know what? I'm sure he's a lovely person. I've got absolutely no idea, but the accent, specifically this guy's accent, I'm assuming this is like the accent of Camden. But Tuesday, I fucking love it. It's so cool. Like, I know I've got quite an English accent, considering I'm from North Wales. It's quite a poor area. We get a lot of Manx and Scouse folk that that come around and stay around as well. People settle here. It's a really cool space with lots of different people. And so our accent sounds like this with a port area, and historically have been. So it's a bit muddied, but act like proper Cockney accents and things like that are just fucking amazing. Like, I love them so much.
God, I was in Spoons in Farringdon, and I spoke to the government minister for two things. One, I said, reduce VAT back to 17.5% for a temporary period to stimulate the economy. Mm-hmm. The other one, I said, be honest with the public about the veterinary agreement with the EU. The EU are stalling on animal rights. Labour put in a manifesto they would ban the import of foie gras. Most supermarkets won't sell it. It's unethical. They put a funnel down its Gregory Peck, force feed the bird, but the EU...
They put it down its where?
It's unethical. They put a funnel down its Gregory Peck, force feed the bird, but the...
It's Gregory Peck. I'm assuming that's Cockney rhyming slang for neck. At which point, it's quicker and easier to just say neck. I fucking look. This is why I love these guys. They're just adorable. There was no need to say Gregory Peck, but he did. And what a fucking legend. But yes, although it's literally torture. It is literally torture. And that is fucking disgusting that they do that. I'm not going to attempt to say it now because I can't not say it in his accent, but that type of food, yes, it is absolutely disgusting. They do it in a way to fatten up the liver and stuff. They do some. Is that Chris Morris? Shout out to Chris Morris. Fucking hell. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Sorry. Ooh, big cough. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. You won't catch me saying it, but it is awful. As much as I'm in a sort of silly-ish mood and that, but actually, the things that he's saying is spot on. I can't argue with that. Like, you know, that is absolutely spot on. It is torture, and you know, chat's right to say that it is bad.
The EU have pointed out to them, you can ban it. You ban it, you don't get this veterinary agreement because you're interfering with the single market. That's your sovereignty. That comes under sovereignty. You've got the sovereignty to ban it, or you can play
So
along with
you want the...
Was there issues? I'm sure, absolutely, and yeah, that also is an issue. Absolutely, I agree. But there are better ways to be able to get more favourable terms, so we can assure, so that we can. I mean, let's face it. I would be much, much, much happier if the overall driving force for the reason why we left the EU was for animal rights. I feel much more comfortable about that. But sadly, it was mostly about xenophobia, wasn't it? Yo, Mr. D. Witt, EU and US corporates are hoovering any profit for their bumper bonuses and shareholder dividends. Yes, that is exactly true. This week in the Clacton Spear, Farage to club the homeless. 100% D. Yeah, and you're getting, yeah. And also as well, I just want to say, I really do love your contributions, D. I feel like, especially in like the Discord and bits and bobs like that, where you're posting things and that, and you're not always like, you know, you may not be in the VCs and stuff and having the daily chats with everyone or whatever, but your contributions are really, really valuable, and I really do enjoy seeing the things that you write in the chat and stuff. It's really good to have you on board, man. I say on board just to have you in the chat, you know.
Government to use more of the so-called Brexit freedoms that leaving the EU gave us?
Yeah, I am. But more importantly, I'm also an Irish citizen. And many years ago, Johnson banned the trade. Ireland used to send their milk cars from the dairy herd on a land bridge, on a ferry, through Wales, all the way through Wales, southern England, to Ramsgate to the Netherlands. It's nicknamed Carey's Law. The British banned it.
So, Mark...
And you'd have to bring that back. If someone wanted to bring back that trade and you're in the single market or the veterinary agreement as it stands now, that's why Labour are playing hardball. And I said to the minister, I said, be honest with the population. This is the stalling. Just say, this is what we're trying to get. We're trying to protect animal rights in this country, but we want the veterinary agreement. So they're trying to cherry pick. And EU speak, it's called a derogation. The Danes have it on immigration. They have a derogation. They also have the EU.
Not that he's not an interesting caller. He is a very interesting caller.
Families have more wealth than the bottom 35 million, so half the population.
Yeah, I was mostly trying to...
No, the richest 50 families have more wealth than the bottom 35 million, so half the population. So the wealth, we have it, but it's all hoarded at the top, which is why people are in poverty. Sadly, certain politicians like to blame minorities for that, when actually the issue is that the money is basically hoarded at the top.
Connor in Turkey coming to call in just a moment. Charlie, on the NHS, obviously Nigel Farage and others made the argument that money could be invested into the NHS if we left the EU. There was the famous battle bust with the £350 million a week figure that was heavily...
Right. This might be a bit of... I genuinely believe this as well. I'm trying to think now, like, maybe there'd be, like, I don't know, you know, I think, and I'm open to be swayed, maybe it's a bit too harsh, but I think that the people behind the bus that said that we were going to get 350 million quid a week to put into our NHS, I believe someone should do jail time. The economic damage that that's done to the country was unbelievable. The lie that you can't, it should be a crime to deliberately, intentionally misinform a population so that you can lie to them and blag their vote. That should be... Because there was quite a few people who said, I've spoke to people who were like, well, I mean, would you rather spend 350 million quid a week on membership over here, or would you rather put it into your NHS? And when you put it like that, it sounds like a no-brainer, doesn't it? You know, like surely to goodness that at this stage of, you know, it's like 20, you know, we're in the 2020s. How is it that we're like allowing, like, you know, that's gone unpunished, basically? Like, we're in, you know, it's modern times, and yet politicians are allowed to, in big letters, write on the sides of buses in some of the most densely populated cities in this entire country, lies, to lie to you, to trick you, to deceive you into giving you their vote. That shouldn't be allowed. Like, how did nobody end up in jail for that? Like what? No, they did. Yeah, no, they didn't even give the nurses a decent pay rise throughout COVID. This is the thing, isn't it? Like, it was the Tory party as well, not just Boris Johnson was also an architect of Brexit, just as much as Nigel Farage and the other sort of establishment talking heads. Pardon me. They were all the architects of this disaster, and they were all in part involved in the lie that was 350 million quid a week to the NHS. That specifically, that shouldn't be allowed. And then to go on and run a government that then is at best indifferent towards its healthcare system, if not outright malicious towards it, with policies and everything else. God damn it. It's outrageous, isn't it? I'm just like dumbfounded. I'm like, and nobody went to jail.
Disputed. Has the NHS improved because of Brexit?
Just before I come to that, I do want to address something that...
He's like, oh, fuck, why did you ask me that? Ask me anything else. James, like, oh, fuck, that's my name. Fuck, why can't my name be anything else? Anything else but that.
The EU, there was the famous battle bus with the £350 million a week figure that was heavily disputed. Has the NHS improved because of Brexit?
Just before I come to that, I do want to address something that Fenny just said, which is the concentration of wealth at the very top of our society. And I think that, nobody serious really disputes that is the case. And it is a problem. There's a reason that people like Gary Stevenson and parties like the Green Party are doing so well at the moment, especially among the young. And that is because there is a huge degree of wealth inequality. I read a statistic a few weeks ago that the average wealth of individuals who own their home...
See... I feel really sorry for this man because he's like so much like he's there and then he ends the sentence with something stupid, right? And that's what I'm fully expecting. If he doesn't, then hats off to him. But everything he said up to right now, yes, one of the reasons why Greens are doing well and everyone else is because there's so much inequality. And so they're looking at towards parties, towards institutions and establishments that look toward, well, I said towards a lot, but that look to breaking down that level of inequality, trying to lower the inequality gap and try and raise the standard of living for everybody. But that's not because that's some sort of weird lefty mind trick or anything. That's just good politics. That should be at the forefront of every single politician that you see that is wanting your vote should be saying the same thing and striving for it and saying this: I will make your life better. I will have you see your life in a better standard. Your kids will grow up safer than you grew up, and their kids will grow up safer yet again. You know what I mean? There will be like, I want to. That's what it should be, but they don't do that, do they? They're like, we're going to deport this many brown faces.
Something like 16 times greater than those who rent. I rent. And I can tell you that certainly feels like it's the case. Mm-hmm. And there's a generational aspect to this as well. The older generations have more wealth than the younger generations. And there's been so many policies over the last few years, like, for example, the lockdowns, which only...
Do you know what, actually? I know I keep pausing it really quickly, and I'm putting a lot of me into this. I'm not getting much information from them, but it's my stream, screws. No, but on a genuine note, I think that when he said then, it took me a couple of seconds to really think about what he was saying about him renting and how we can see that, people are struggling and, why people will be looking towards the Green Party who look at things like inequality and say that they're going to do something about it. That's an appealing, attractive thing. And he can understand why it's an appealing, attractive thing. But here's the thing. This guy's like, what, 25? He said that he was like, playing Call of Duty or whatnot, 10 years ago. So I'm going to loosely put him at the 25 odd age range, mid 20s, we're going to call it. He's mid 20s age range, right? And he's on LBC repping for fucking Rupert Lowe. Like, I'm sure it pays his bills and I'm sure it keeps that really expensive rent at bay and, makes sure that he's not homeless. But like, it's weird how people like this, all of the problems that he's facing that he's just talked about right then, are caused directly and exclusively by men like Rupert Lowe and Rupert Lowe, right? So people like him who's campaigning for Brexit, making the economy even worse, causing, serious pressures on what then would become a cost of living crisis and everything else. Like, all of this stuff, It makes me feel uncomfortable that he's found himself in this position now where he's repping the people that are directly against his own best interests. He's not. Like he said, he rents, right? So I'm assuming, and this is just me going off his words. It may be that he's hails from a super wealtty background, and he's one of the few percent that own, most percent of everything. Let's assume that he is just a young lad trying to make his way, and he's renting and he's doing all that stuff. Like, he's not going to profit, he's not going to benefit, from the overall economic strategy of people like Rupert Lowe. We've seen what Rupert Lowe does and what he advocates for. He advocated for a Brexit that was a complete shut-off, right, when he was part of the Brexit party, which has done nothing but cause extreme and severe damage. He's also, as well, not just on the economic side of it, but socially as well. Like, this guy walking down the street, like, streets are unsafer because of people like Rupert Lowe. It wasn't that long ago. Was it Emily Mattis or Madlis? I can never remember her last name. I keep tripping up over it. But she's quite an established interviewer. She, a reporter, journalist person. She interviewed Rupert Lowe about several things, but the subject of Muslim grooming gangs came up, and how he was saying that, well, yes, whatever percentage that he threw out there he was saying that like a majority of these crimes were being committed by like Muslim or Pakistani grooming gangs. When she gave him the actual figures that he's they're lies, and where have you got those numbers from? Probably from this is from the police. These are the numbers of arrests and the numbers of prosecutions and everything else. This is all that added together. He was lying. He literally made it up. So this young lad is not only supporting a person who's going to make his rent go up and make it harder for him to live, but also it's going to make it harder for him to walk down the street, with all this without having to go through some stupid protest of some knobheads outside of a hotel or something. Like, it's so counterintuitive, and he's only young, so hopefully there's time for him yet, but he's in the belly of the beast, and that beast it's swallowing, it's not going to help him to be in that position.
Accelerated this kind of process. So I agree with you that wealth inequality is an issue, but I don't blame Brexit for that necessarily. I do think
I don't blame Brexit for wealth inequality. It's not like richer. Do you know during Brexit, richer people got richer and poorer people, got poorer. I guess you'd call that inequality. And no, it's not the exclusive one, but it's a huge driving force behind it in 2026 in terms of financial inequality.
Aspect of it is that it enabled corporations, big corporates were the ones who ultimately won out, because again, this global Britain narrative was, it was all about enriching those who already have wealth and assets. But it did.
A Brexit made those richer people richer. It gave them more assets. Then, because it's disaster capitalism, baby. It's all over the place. It is what it is. But this guy, the person that he's repping for, Rupert Lowe, this correct way of doing Brexit, as he's like sort of dropping out there, would have been made worse if it was actioned by Rupert Lowe. The stuff that he was advocating for would have made the situation even worse. And to sit there with somewhat of a straight face, I guess, I don't know if I can call that a straight face, but to sit there, and to say unironically, they're like, well, we didn't Brexit enough. Do you know what the problem with Brexit was? Wasn't enough Brexit. That was the big problem. Like, oh, right, okay. Fucking idiot.
Also, Lee, you speak about blaming minorities. It's not about blaming. Let me finish, Femi. Okay. It's not about blaming minorities arbitrarily. It's about looking at the immigration policies of the ruling class and looking at how they affect the well-being of ordinary people in this country. And the fact is, the immigration that took place during lockdown, by the way. I mean, I thought we were supposed to be limiting the amount of travel people were doing, and yet millions of migrants came into the country and are on track to stay permanently.
We will get on to immigration, I promise you, because there's a lot to be debated there. Just on that point about the NHS, though, I mean, a lot of people would say the NHS is no better than it was 10 years ago.
I've got relatives who work in the NHS, and sometimes they say it's like...
Just chill out. It's a hot day. If you can't get it past the auto mod, maybe you're trying a bit too much. Maybe dial it back just a little bit. Plain jokes and bugger jokes. Well played.
an absolute war zone. So yeah, I probably agree that not enough has been invested in the NHS, but that begs the question, is more investment what is needed? Would that actually help? Would throwing more money into the black hole actually help? And I'm not sure that it would, because again, back to immigration, the fact is if you bring in millions of people, many of whom are dependents, many of whom take more out of the system than they put in, the strain on public services is going to increase, and that's going to lead them to kind of grinding to a halt, which is what's happening.
And on the economy, got a message from Les in Eltham saying, Femi's going on about the economy. That's not important. Do we want to run our country or not? Otherwise, what was the point in fighting Hitler? Keep us out of the Euro Reich, he says. Your response?
Sorry, I have to come back on some of that stuff. I sat right here and pointed out to Nigel Farage 8 years ago that EU citizens made up 5% of the UK population, but 10% of our doctors. So statistically speaking, that immigration is not damaging this country. It is literally keeping it alive by increasing our doctor-patient ratio.
Immigration that took place during
I hate it when they do that. When they go, well, that is true, but let me tell you about these other kinds of people that I don't like, and I'll get even more hyper-specific. Like, yes, those kinds of people. What do you want about me? Just chill out.
Years ago, that EU citizens made up 5% of the UK population, but 10% of our doctors. So statistically speaking, that immigration is not damaging this country. It is literally keeping it alive by increasing our doctor-patient ratio.
The immigration that took place during
allow me to finish my point. And I also pointed out that the rhetoric of people such as your brand of politics, from Nigel Farage, he said there was nothing in 2016. He said there was nothing we can do to stop unlimited numbers of people from EU countries settling in this country and enjoying the same rights and privileges as all the rest of us. And then I called him up on his show, and I told him under EU rules, in order to live in another country, you need to either have a job or have sufficient resources, enough money that you're not a burden on the welfare state, and you have your own comprehensive medical insurance. And he said, in theory, Femi, you're right. In theory, under European treaties, there are restrictions that can be placed, which means he was admitting that his entire rhetoric about how the EU forced completely uncontrolled immigration was a lie. And that was his main message. I even said to him that if the EU has rules on controlling immigration...
And of course, when we saw the rhetoric in the Brexit referendum, it was all about... it was all about controlling immigration. There was that famous picture of Nigel Farage. You know what? I'll get it up now. He stood in front of a poster. Why tell you what I can show you? Poster, Brexit poster. I guess it'll be in there somewhere. Let's have a gander. It was this poster here, right? So this stuff. Do you remember he was saying that this wasn't happening either? This wasn't a thing that was happening at all, right? And he was claiming that if you want to be able to get rid of these types of people, specifically these types of people, right? And I say these types, and I mean it in the most literal way. I mean, look at it. It's literally, he couldn't be more on the nose. It's just a sea of people who are a different ethnicity to him. That's what it is. That's what he's doing. And he was trying to imply that if you voted for them, that, you know, there would be no sea of ethnic people of different ethnicities, and your whiteness would be safe, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, maybe whatever the thing was, but obviously it was very steeped in this racial rhetoric. And as it happens, when it comes to the subject of asylum seeking separately, but rather obviously, he was warned that this would happen, but rather obviously, the result of Brexit actually saw the arrival of boats on our shores, a huge number of them, that massive influx that we saw. That didn't happen pre-Brexit, because when we crashed out of Brexit, because of people like this is the, like, that him stood in front of that poster just is literally just, especially now with like today's hindsight and, you know, with the context of everything and his position right now, it's perfectly represents exactly what level of grift he is at. It is the top tier level 1 establishment grift. He is numero uno when it comes to doing this shit. There's no one that does it better than him. This man successfully managed to tell you that he could stop brown faces arriving on shores to like claim asylum and things like that if you simply voted in a referendum the way he wanted to. They did that, and it made more people arrive by shores to the UK to claim asylum, right? Because they'd lost all the official and thingy routes, which was obviously going to happen. But then he gets even more political capital and even more funding and everything else that goes along with it by convincing you that he's the man that will sort that problem out. He's the man that created that problem. He's the architect of that issue. What? How people voted for this man is just far beyond me. I do honestly hope that what Carol Vorderman says comes to pass, like her predictions. If they come true, then perfect. You know what I mean? Then goodbye Farage by 2027. Continue the grift in another way that isn't as damaging here. You can go off to America and try and earn the almighty dollar.
And the UK hasn't been implementing them, then leaving the EU would likely lead to more uncontrolled immigration, and that is exactly what happened. And again, you might not be Reform, but you work for a guy who was part of the Reform Party. That is what you people did to this country, and yet you still blame uncontrolled immigration on the left when you were the ones behind it. And especially, as I just pointed out, we need immigration.
Well, once again, if you listen to the rhetoric of people like Farage and Johnson before Brexit, they were saying that actually we would prefer people come from India than come from Poland, for reasons that I can't quite understand. And that has...
Yeah, he's like, wait, he wanted brown faces instead of white faces? Why? Why the white faces? Why not the white faces? But, yeah, like, it's kind of sniveling. It's pathetic. It's gross. It's like, well, look, yes, they are a bit racist, but we're doing it in the right way. And like, no, you're just racist.
Has since happened, you're correct. 80 to 90% of the immigration that took place during the Boris wave, during lockdown, post-Brexit, came from...
The Boris wave? Is that what they call it? Not the Brexit wave. The Boris wave. Oh, it's funny, isn't it? Dropping it straight on the toes of the Tories. Which, I mean, it does belong there. That parcel does belong at their doorstep. But when you ring the bell, it's people like Rupert Lowe that should be answering.
Non-EEA countries. And so you're talking about, EU nationals, but that's not really who we're dealing with.
We're also, given that we're talking about immigration, we have to get onto immigration properly. Yeah. So given that your party... I came here and I was questioning whether I should even sit across from you, because your policy around immigration is largely around immigration, and you have around remigration, which is the phrase that, according to Wikipedia, means the ethnic cleansing of Europe of anybody who isn't white.
Famously reliable source.
Let's back that up. You recently shared a video by Douglas Carswell where he said that the reimmigration will involve stripping citizenship from people who are born in this country, and you have said that your reimmigration part.
That's British people. He wants to strip citizenship, deport people who were born here because their family might not have been down the line. But then where do we stop? Because then if you look down these guys' family line, even the whitest people in this nation, like you go right down their family lines, they also come from another nation. Like, what are we doing here? Femi's right to articulate it the way that he is. He's right to frame it that way. That is exactly what they're hoping to achieve. That is their end result. They also want to deport, and Rupert Lowe has said this as well. They will be deporting people who were born here as well, which just goes above and beyond in terms of racism, doesn't it?
The purpose of it is to fix the demographic of the UK because it's going too far away from white people, which means you won't be stripping citizens.
It's nothing to do with white people.
It's nothing to do with white people, but we won't be deporting any white people. Just brown people and people that were born here who also happen to be brown. It's got nothing to do with white people, though. Just fucking man, these guys. These silly billies, what are they like, eh? Destroying our country, ripping up the social fabric and using it for fucking toilet paper. Fucking rapscallions, look at them go.
You've complained about, have you not talked about white British people becoming a minority?
Well, white British is a census category. It's not about arbitrary skin color.
So you won't be, so this reimmigration agenda will not be removing citizenship from white British people, but it will be removing citizenship from people like me. In fact, even...
Hang on, no. Our policy is that foreign nationals who live in social housing, who can't speak English, who are a burden on the taxpayer and who hate our way of life are going to be deported.
As I just said, the video you shared, which you called a razor-sharp analysis by Douglas Carswell, said you'll be removing citizenship from people who were born in this country.
Well, I think I shared...
And there you go. That's pretty much it. Obviously, Femi just does a lot of dismantling. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the times he's actually laughed at, like quite a few times. It is quite embarrassing for him. But I advise everyone I recommend everyone go and watch this. But don't just watch the LBC one because watch that too, obviously. But Femi also has he's done a video that breaks it down. He's done a really cool take on it, and he's really cool. He's a lot smarter than I am. That guy, I'll tell you that. He's fucking way smarter than I am. Go and listen to him. But yeah, I think next what I would like to do is I would like to share with you all the sad, sad tale of a humble, considerate pillar of the community, a citizen journalist, for God's sakes. He's just an innocent man, and no matter where he goes, he just can't get a coffee. This is, of course, the harrowing tale of Paul Dunbar, DP Audits, who it seems at the moment is unable to go into any coffee shops in Birmingham or, in any Wetherspoons anywhere without being told no. And that's not a word that he's used to hearing. He hears it a lot, but it's not one that he likes hearing. It's one that he reacts quite strongly to. Like I mentioned earlier, actually, we referenced it before when he was, telling the Wetherspoons security person that if you weren't a woman, I'd punch you right in the mouth. And then he was pushed, I think, down some stairs and out the door by security, which he fucking earned. And he ended up in his natural habitat on his back. And here we see the DP outside of a Wetherspoons, looking up at Nazis looking down, wondering how the fuck did he go down again? Right, so we had a bit of a giggle, didn't we? Let's go over to this now. We had a bit of a giggle. I'll just take this to the channel just to show you the thumbnail thing for now, just so refresh your memories. So we saw this one where he was rejected from that Wetherspoons. There's this one here as well. This is the third one. And I'll tell you what, this person right here is absolutely incredible. So I'm trying to think of the best place to get that video. It's probably, and I don't want to keep like using their content like all the time because, they've got their own channel and their own thing going on. But Political Custard is really good at this. And this is probably like my most ethical sourcing of this footage without going to some dodgy X account or using, Paul Dunbar's footage himself.
Birmingham and Britain First organise a demonstration, but hundreds turn out to counter Britain First demo. It's estimated that there were...
Hey! There are many, many more of us than there are of you. So... This look says it all. She knows she was bossing this. She must have she knew in her head, right? She was like, she saw him coming and she was like, right, aura farming mode activated. She's like, I know, I've been waiting for this moment, for one of these knobheads to come in here. And she fucking owns it. She absolutely ate every single piece of this moment up. She's awesome.
That protesters and auditors peeled away to get a beer or cup of coffee. Although for some, like this person...
I'm not gonna lie. Yo, I didn't know that Aidan Ross worked here. That's Aidan Ross, right? No one... Let me... That's literally Aidan Ross. I'm fucking sure of it. That's him. Let me find one we can where he's... I'm a silly Billy, aren't I? That's Aidan Ross, I'm telling you.
And filming here, Paul Dunbar trying to buy a cup of coffee from an establishment that hangs an LGBTQ plus flag on the wall. He doesn't like it when his custom isn't wanted.
Why? So because what, for asking
dun, dun, dun. Subtitles
for a coffee? So a protest on one side of opinions, which I'm not part of, I'm just filming, by the way.
Liar. That is a lie. Now what he's trying to do is control the narrative and frame it. And assumably all he's done is just go and ask for a coffee. And now he's got she said, no, well, you're part of that really hateful protest outside. And this is a private establishment, which is well within her rights to do that. Okay. But yeah, he's now framing it as, no, I was just filming it. No, I was just filming it. That's not true. In fact, DP is not just an activist. He's not just an activist with a camera. He has, in the past, on more than one occasion, given speeches at far-right rallies, usually really small rallies, with about 4 or 5 people on the corner and like a really small speaker. He's done it once or twice. He's done it through megaphone. He's done it through microphone. He's done it, right? He is not part of the protest. He is the protest. Sorry, he's not filming the protest. He's part of the protest. He damn well is the protest. DP Audits, for those of you that don't know, is Paul Dunbar. Paul Dunbar, I mean, of course, you guys all know because you watch this channel. Yeah, it's that guy, right? So, I fucking love these punts. DP must be so depresso. Can I have a depresso to go, please? Yeah, sure, certainly you can. Fuck off. Thank you. Okay, so no, he didn't, and here's why. He didn't threaten sexual assault on the NHS worker. He threatened to go at the. He more or less was implying violence. He was trying to put it in coded language. It was that woman's daughters that he threatened sexual assault on. So it seems like a trivial thing to correct you, but no, it wasn't the wife. It was her children, her daughters, that he threatened sexual assault on. Yeah, that's that guy. Yes, you're absolutely correct. It's him. But yeah, she is like got this expression of, where the fuck does he keep all that audacity? Like, there isn't enough chest harnesses to hold fucking iPhones in the world to keep all that audacity contained within him. There's just not. Where does he keep the extras? God damn.
Hey, right, yeah, because it's content. I'm a YouTuber.
You're not just a YouTuber. I'll say you're a YouTuber, yeah, in the same way that you're also a Facebooker, you're also a TikToker. But broadly speaking, what you are is a far-right vlogger who is heavily associated with the Nazi that we just saw then, who may or may not be in jail right now. I can't remember. We couldn't find out if he exactly was, but he was on remand at least until the 18th. And then that was his court date, but then had another court date on the 22nd and has another one coming up on the 3rd of July. So we'll see, you know, if he's not in jail, he bloody well will be soon. But that's his buddy, that's his content creation friend. Yo, he said that, didn't he? DP literally said, I'm telling Mr. Weatherspoons. He said, I'm going to write a letter to Mr. Weatherspoons. Oh my God, he's the gift that keeps on grifting. Oh, he's just a gold man. Mr. Weatherspoons himself, man, he's going to be furious. As soon as you can pull him away from a very reasonably priced breakfast and pint, he's absolutely raging. The trick is, though, you're never going to get to Mr. Weatherspoon because he's in a Weatherspoons, allegedly. I don't know. Mr. Weatherspoon isn't real, if you didn't know. Weatherspoon.
Not allowed in.
No, because I've said I'm not serving coffee to people that are in that protest because it's making me feel uncomfortable and my country.
So you discriminate against.
Okay, so no discrimination. What she's saying is look, you know, there's a hateful event outside. It really isn't discrimination. It's not being a right-wing absolute doofus that goes around causing fights largely that you end up on your own arse for to make money on the internet whilst pushing these horrible tropes, which, by the way, the same tropes that DP pushes were the same things that the terrorist in Edinburgh was shouting. Just saying. Of course, it's not a protected characteristic. That's not discrimination. Like, you know, to choose to be that guy is not to. It's just like they don't understand what it is. They are so desperate to be the victim. They walk around with death. They've actually, these far righters now, these far right bloggers, because let's separate them from auditors just for a second. But like the far right have now taken it upon themselves to just walk around with their phone, be a dick, and then moan and moan and moan. And that's it. That's their new tactic. And surprisingly, it's effective. I mean, as we can see with the terrorist attack in Edinburgh, they're repeating the same rhetoric that these far-right vloggers. It's working. You know, they get whatever it is that they're after. I'm pretty sure it's working. You know, it's heavy shit that's actually quite damaging to the nation. So, yeah, it sounds like a stupid, childish thing. But, you know, I'll be damned if it ain't effective.
Hates people because of their political beliefs.
No, it's just not.
Where you are? Where you are? So this bar, it's all right, because I'll put the bar all over the internet and we'll make it go viral.
Absolutely.
So this girl at this bar.
And there you go again. Hello, Aidan Ross. I'm going to call you Adam Ross. I'm sure you're a lovely person, but... Oh, look, that's Aidan Ross, man. He's hiding out in a bar in fucking England somewhere. Oh my god! But no, I mean, look at this bar though. I mean, obviously there's this dude here, and he's cool, awesome, great looking guy, lovely dude, sure. But look at this, right? You see these pride flags. You see these. It's an establishment that clearly is that is based. Is the word I'm looking for, essentially? Yeah, we'll go with that. They're fucking based. But no, I mean, clearly they're not, you know, why would they want anyone in there that's going to make everybody else feel uncomfortable? You, as a business owner, do have a right to say, look, your presence here is only causing discomfort to myself and the people around you. Like, there's no need for any of this. Look, just, you know, not here today. But then he goes back to that classic threat, doesn't he? I'm going to whip out my phone and I'm going to make, you're going to go viral. He said that as a threat to so many people. Because, I mean this figuratively, not in height, because I'm the same height as him, but he is a little man that has no ability to control the people around him. And most people, that's okay. We're all right. We don't need to control everyone. It's fine. People do their thing. We can talk about it, whatever. It's cool, whatever. But these guys, no, they will come to you. They'll be in your face. They'll try and make things personal. They want you to feel. They want you to have some sort of adverse effect from the way that you've made them feel. It's all based in feelings. They don't know how to process their own feelings. They want to attack them in some way. And so that this is his way. Because obviously, if he tried to physically attack this woman, I mean, she'd probably kick the living shit out of him. I mean, that's just DP. He's one of those, you know, he's not able to defend himself. We've seen it plenty of times where he's got himself into situations. And I'm not just being, again, I'm not even trying to be mean. I'm just objectively, that man is unable to physically defend himself. And so, like, his way of doing it is to try and, if he can make you think that you're being humiliated and embarrassed, if he thinks that he can get just a few people to pile on top of you to make your self-worth, you know, go down a few pegs, if he can do any of that petty, slimy, scummy stuff, he'll do it. That's all he's got at the moment. And it's a hallmark of a lot of these orders. This is their sword, so to speak. It's their shield as well. It's also, I'd call it the aviator glasses. It's basically a Stanford prison experiment, isn't it? They're like, you know, that they feel like they're behind the aviators and they're the ones in charge with authority and they get to dish out as much punishment, you know, fucking empathy be damned. No empathy. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, who cares if it hurts other people, no matter how destructive and insidious it is? You know what I mean? It's just awful. I think that's the effect that the camera has on them as well, largely. But because I'm sure he didn't start like this, but also as well, nobody just becomes an auditor. So, you know, it is what it is.
He's denying me a coffee because I filmed a protest. That was a right-leaning protest outside.
No, she's been very clear. Your presence there is making people uncomfortable. You are a far-right activist who is giving speeches at protests. They don't want you in there. You're also quite an infamous character. I wouldn't say you're famous. I'd say you've got infamy. People know who you are. There's all sorts of news articles about you. I was just looking through X as well earlier. It's full of people, you know, congratulating this woman for standing up to you, because she felt uncomfortable anyway. Like, it's terrible. And it absolutely is not in any way, shape or form discrimination or even political discrimination. She's like, look, I feel uncomfortable. The people here feel uncomfortable around you. And we're about to see as well, there are other members here that do vocalise that.
She said no.
Look at that. There's two people right there. Like, yeah. And listen, this man's about to say something that is so spot on, that is just so perfect. I think it's possibly the best place to end the whole stream on. So let's hear what he's got to say. You ready? This is the most appropriate thing to say. Look at her smile. Oh my God, with Smeg written on a fridge. I fucking love this person. And now here we go.
Because I filmed a protest. That was a right-leaning protest outside.
She said no. You've already ruined
There you go. You've already ruined enough people's day. Just move along. And that is the message that I want to give out to auditors today. I'm sure, you know, what time are we at now? We're at nearly 7 o'clock. So just stop. Already stop. You've ruined enough people's days today. Just stop. Right, on that note, guys, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for the support, the love, the comments, the likes, the shares. By the way, if you still haven't, it's time to hit that like button. No, I really, really appreciate it. This community is just a buzz with incredible supportive people. Michael, before the stream, I started the stream 2 minutes to the hour. And within those 2 minutes, he managed to get a comment in and get gifted memberships and stuff in. And not just once, but twice. What a legend. Thank you so much. Hustle came out of nowhere with the incredible 20 gifted members. That is just outrageous. Oh, God, that's so... I've never seen a red one before. Thank you so much, Hustle. The support is just... I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it. What a cool-ass community. And then Michael, again, with the third one, jumped in. Look at that. What a fucking legend. Just peppering him through the stream. What a lovely dude. And then Andy was incredibly generous, and he paid £2 for a shout-out to Sister Ninja, who's got yet another shout-out. Shout-out to Sister Ninja. You sound amazing. You also sound like I don't want to cross you. Ninjas are cool, but also a little scary. I don't know if I can defend myself against ninjas. But then Katie Marshall with the incredible 10 gifted memberships. I am so fucking stoked that this might... Oh, guys, you're so amazing, honestly. And then to cap it off again with another sub that was with another gifted membership. Wow, we've got... Let's have a look now. So we got... there was 20 to 10, so that's 30, 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. We've got an extra 34 subs today. So we're at least in the just pushing 150s. But I think we might even be over that because there was some that didn't add on to the count yesterday when I was looking, because the back end of YouTube's a bit slow, so it takes a couple of days for it to come out properly. But what a stream. Thank you all so much. Thank you all. And again, one last thing. Don't go just yet. One last thing is we've got some incredible creators in the chat at the moment. And you should absolutely check them all out. Mank people right there. There's how many people here? There's so many. Look at this, Max. How didn't I even say it the first time? Like, there's so many incredible creators here. We've even got the official Clacton Spear in the house. It's amazing. It's really cool. Some incredible people. Go and check them all out. TK, I'm trying to remember who else. Andy Luke, Katie Marshall, all those good people. They're all amazing. And if I've forgotten anyone, I'm sorry. Love and peace to all of you. You're all amazing. Have a great day. Peace out.